Well, he did tell me that he's got something for me to road test that is black and red. It's not this. He thinks he's got one up on me, that Paul Johnston fella. Well, I can tell you he hasn't. What he's done, he's obviously gone into a motorcycle showroom and chosen the biggest bike he could find, on the idea that it's too big for me to ride and do a road test on. Well, he's found this, and understandably, I can see what he means. It's a muscle bike, it's 1300cc, and you think it'd be too big for me. Well, it isn't. In fact, it's perfect. My feet reach the floor. So, I've got me a road test, and he's waiting for me to turn up on it. He's got a long wait.
Oh, look at this. Here's Wayne. Wayne the motorcycle tourer. I think he's been on a world cruise or something. A week I've been waiting.
A week?
I've had 2 shaves, 3 showers.
Do you know, it just felt like an hour or so, that's all.
Well, where have you been?
I've been for a good ride and I've thoroughly enjoyed myself.
And have you learnt anything about the bike in the week? Can you tell us anything? Inform us, you know?
Oh, yeah. It's red. It's a Yamaha and it's 1300cc's.
It is.
I really enjoyed it. Can you sort me out with something else? Yeah. Oh, and by the way, it's run out of petrol.
That's very informative, isn't it? Now you know why we don't let him get involved with road tests. Looks like it's down to me again. So what can I tell you about this XJR 1300 that Wayne hasn't already told you? Well, probably loads and loads. It is indeed 1300cc's. It's a Yamaha, it's big and it's red. There's a bit more to it than that. It's a proper, true retro machine, true retro muscle bike. Retro right from the front to the back. So many bikes these days call themselves retros, but they're not really. They've got a big chrome headlamp, and that's really where the retro theme ends, because they've got monoshocks at the back. Whoever said a monoshock was retro? I don't think so. This one, we're back to the old twin shocks. And even the engine looks retro. Look at that. It's air-cooled. In fact, if you took a picture of that there and said, name the year, you'd probably say 1970 something or 1980 something, because it really does look the part. No fancy fuel injection, 4 Mikuni CV carburetors, all works perfectly well. It's not rocket science, but it's perfect for this kind of machine. Big oil cooler on the front there, and a 5-speed gearbox in this, as opposed to the more normal, or should we say more conventional 6-speed. And I'm led to believe it works perfectly well, although talking to Wayne I would never know that, so looks like I'll have to find out for myself. The first thing you'll find out when you climb aboard the XJR 1300 is that it has to be one of the most comfortable bikes to ride. An excellent padded seat and well-placed bars. In fact, the whole machine feels perfectly balanced. There's plenty enough power, and if you really want to, you can have a go at mixing it with the boy racers. It's nowhere near as fast as some of your more dedicated sports bikes, but with no protection on this naked machine, you really don't want to be hurtling along at ridiculous speeds. It's far more suited to high-speed cruising around the country lanes. It's physically a large machine. You will get noticed on this bike. But having said that, it's not daunting, it's very, very user-friendly. Oh, you may have noticed, you should have noticed, that this is a little bit different to your standard XJR 1300. This, of course, is the SPS version. Now, they all do SPS versions and fancy limited edition versions. Honda do them, Aprilia, Ducati do them with the 996s and all that. So why not have an SPS retro machine like this? Nothing wrong with that. 2 main differences between this and the standard model. One, perhaps the most obvious, is the paint job. Look at that. Yamaha speed blocks, a proper retro paint job if ever I've seen one. Straight off an RD out of the 1970s, that, isn't it? Very smart on the tank and, of course, on the tail unit there as well. And you probably not failed to mention the shocks on this are different to your standard. Lots of people use different types of suspension these days. You've got your white power, your Paoli, your shower, all them. On this SPS, we're on Öhlins shocks, which are used throughout the world on all the top super bikes. And of course, they're fully adjustable. You can tweak them and tune them and set the bike up exactly the way you want it to feel. Look at that for a nice seat. Not only is it a nice, comfy stepped seat, but it's got all this nice quilting in it, these nice little quilted sections here. Again, perfectly in keeping with this style of machine. Not really much to show you under the seat, but we'll pop it off and have a look. Little compartment there, a couple of bits in there, toolkit there, C-spanners there, so you can have a play with your rear suspension, but nothing very exciting to tell you about under there. But it has got, this bike, two things that I think are really important, that are important to me when I'm looking at a bike. One is up there, a fuel gauge. I think every bike should have a fuel gauge, I keep saying it. And the second thing is, there, can you see it? A main stand, perfect, makes life a lot easier. So if you are a fan of the retro scene and you're impressed by size, then this could be right up your street. If big really is beautiful, then this is about as good looking as things get. So this is the SPS version, therefore it's much more expensive. Well, no, it's not really that much more expensive. The standard machine, XJR 1300, will cost you £5,800 to put on the road. This SPS model will cost you £6,200, so only just about £400 more, and for your 400 quid, you get a nice paint job and fancy rear suspension. I don't think that's bad, because if you bought the standard bike, you had it painted yourself and you treated yourself to some fancy new shocks, I think you could be looking at the best part of £1,000. So in today's day and age, I don't think that's bad value for money. Now, one other thing we must do. Wayne, one sec. I need you to do me a favour. Just, there's the key. Take it back. Apologise that you've had it for so long. Tell them you won't do it again. Oh, and put some more petrol in it.